got mail. Good morning, everybody. You're tuned to Computers 2K now on the Nissan Communications Network. I'm Amnon, your host for the next hour or so, along with Spence.
Good morning.
Oh, there is Nick is joining us.
Yes, so I had a knock on my door at 3 o'clock, and these armed men took me out of my room down to the lobby and said, "You will be on the show today."
Yeah, Spence is coming to us from Alaska, from the dining room of the hotel, right?
Well, the lobby,
The lobby.
lobby of the hotel. Yep,
I
I've
mean,
been
you
up
sound
here for, yes, March 8th is when I got here, and I've been acting as a trainer for new CDL bus drivers.
well,
We've been training raw recruits and other
and the
CDL
time there
holders.
right now is
It is now 5:05
wow.
a.m. I just happened to wake up, and I was awake, and I saw that you're talking back and forth on signals. I said, "Hey, I'm awake." So
Huh?
glad to be back.
Our number is 561-518-9773. Don't call it because something is not working right on it. Today's show is made possible by vMix Software and is sponsored by Tom Sinclair of Live Streaming Gear. I think Nick is having a little bit of a technical problem. Um, I wonder how he's doing with this PC. He'll give us a report. I'm sure he'll fix it.
It's been a long journey for him here.
Yeah,
Computer. Hmm.
it's no fun when you have all these
No,
problems.
no. I used to like that stuff where you try to fix something, but it gets to the point now where I have no patience for it anymore. I said, throw it away, get another one.
Exactly. That's where I'm at.
Oh, there we go. Mick is here. Hi, Nick.
Good morning.
Good morning. What was the problem? Do you know? No.
Windows issue still. Zoom wouldn't launch. I had to
So
quit the task, had to quit the process like 3 times for it to finally launch the meeting.
so you didn't
Oh,
accomplish anything with that PC yet. You just
I haven't had the sufficient time to
okay. Oh,
go through the process. Maybe this afternoon, maybe, not sure. We'll see.
that's
I
all
have
right.
a I have a customer who I set up a new laptop for him about 6 or 7 months ago, and it's just moving from Windows 10 to Windows 11, trying to get his 365 subscriptions working, and he has had just nothing but trouble. And it's a shame because he just keeps running into these crazy things, Microsoft account issues, and getting these weird messages. And he's now at the point where he never turns the machine off because it's every time restarts it, something weird happens. And yeah,
Mm.
nice machine. It's a Lenovo Carbon, just a really good machine, but
Well, I
it's
took out the last Windows 7 machine laptop that I had here on my
oh,
and
that's what woke me up this morning. I heard angels singing.
That
I
was Microsoft shareholder Spence
That's it.
singing, praising. Not no angels involved.
but I could
Yes.
only update this particular laptop to Windows 10. So I said, it's fine. But it's weird. Now I'm having problems. I mean, the Google Voice was working fine last week. Turned it off, turned it on today. Microphone doesn't work.
Oh, but Google Voice isn't a program; it's a
I know. I know.
website.
It's something to do. I mean, it's using the built-in sound and it was telling me that the microphone is not working, but even the speakers I hear real faint.
Well, then you probably just don't have the correct audio driver.
It's
With
it's
the
it's the one
what?
that's built in. I mean,
Yeah,
the
but
high
it doesn't matter if it's
definition.
built. Yeah, but it doesn't. You still could have an outdated. You still might have a Windows. Did you do an upgrade from Windows 7 to Windows 10 or
No,
do a
no,
reinstall?
this is a completely different computer.
Oh, well, you
It-
said it in the same sentence as you upgraded.
But I upgraded from 7 to 10, not the computer. The computer is a completely new install. I mean, I installed Jingle
When did
Palette
you do the new install?
last week.
Yeah, so I'm saying it's possible that with the new install, it did not download the proper audio driver. There's a
Hmm.
great program for that called the Sido, SIDO, um, Snappy Driver Installer. Great tool
Or
just for this.
just try deleting it in Device Manager
What is it
and
called?
restarting the machine.
I'll put the link, excuse me, I'll put the link in the chat. It's called Snappy Driver Installer Origin. Anytime I do a new Windows install, the program's a little complicated to use the first time.
I
Um,
I see it.
it's open source, so you get what you get with that. But once you use it once, it will go and it will scan the entire computer and it will find every single driver that is out of date and tell you whether there's new ones available, whether the one that you've got, even though it's not the newest, is the best. It's great for new installs, um, because it will, especially if you're especially if you're not doing if you're just doing a raw install and not doing any sort of recovery media like from HP or Dell or Lenovo, whoever makes the computer. So many of their drivers don't automatically install, like for the touchpad or touch screen or anything like that. This software does a really good job at grabbing all of that stuff.
Yeah, every time I've reinstalled or upgraded a Dell or whatever, it's an adventure to go out and find the correct drivers.
This
Sometimes you do
program
one.
cuts it down to
Yeah.
nothing. I mean, it's phenomenal. I've used it for years.
All right.
One of those things you don't use very often. You just use it like I used it for the first time um last week for the first time in probably 2 years. 'Cause I just haven't done any new fresh Windows installs. Um set up a new I set up a new laptop for a friend of mine who has a small business and doing some IT work for them. And set up Windows 11 with an offline account. There was a really useful guide online. Make a couple of command prompt edits during the install and installed it without a Microsoft account, which was great.
All right. It's I finally figured out how to download it.
Yeah,
All right.
it's a little it's a little confusing the first time you open
Yeah.
it. Um,
It says download now, but then it didn't do anything, and see, I had to scroll down. Okay. Well, they are.
yeah, there's two different EXEs. You've got a
This,
X64 and a
yeah,
regular, or an X86 and a regular. I don't remember what it is.
it's R813 and R64 R13.
Is it a 32-bit install? Hopefully not.
No, I don't think so. Well, yeah, I didn't really pay attention. I just let it go and do its thing. Let's see.
Well, then hopefully it's in
System.
64-bit.
Where's the about?
anybody had a look at the new technology for charging gallium nitride?
I have no idea what you're
GaN.
talking
64,
about.
64.
I know. I was just on Sleeping Computer, and it said this new technology for charging is supposed to be really good because it does not overheat your devices. It's being recognized. When is CES? Is that coming up or did it happen already?
CS happened. That was in January. Happens near the first of the
Okay.
year.
So they're saying that this won an award at CES, but it's called GaN technology. It says it allows for smaller, more efficient, faster power delivery without overheating your favorite devices.
Hmm.
You can get one. They've got it. If the special might be expired, but you can get it for $59. It's normally 119. But it says it charges very fast and safe. It's got two USB-C ports, maybe more, but it's just talking about that now. I've had issues with charging my phone. Or, I'm sorry, not my phone, my watch, because I like to wear it all day and then slap it in the charger and wear it when I sleep to track my sleep. And I have to use an Apple um, iPad charger to do a quick charge with it. It works, but
Oh, to
I
get the
can't use a
amperage on it.
regular 1 amp charger. It just takes forever.
Yeah. Apple made a huge I think Apple made a huge mistake when they started introducing new and faster chargers. They didn't put any sort of identification on the little white bricks for the most part before they switched them to USB-C, which was obviously the differentiator. When they were still just the regular USB, was it A or B, whatever the
Yeah.
regular USB cable is. Um, you really have no way to tell unless you look over the back, and in most cases it's completely rubbed off what the actual
Or it's so
amperage
tiny you
is.
can't read it.
Yeah, you can't
You have
read
to
it
have a
anyway.
flashlight and a pair of glasses on.
They
Yeah.
made a I think they made a bad decision not differentiating those chargers, because old iPhone chargers, which look exactly the same as, you know,
Yeah.
essentially the most recent ones that have USB, are completely different in their amperage.
Sometimes have an issue charging my iPad if I plug it into. I have a cheap outlet brick with
Mhm.
USB Cs, and I plug it into that. And sometimes I come back and it says not charging. So there's
Oh, because
something in a lot,
it can't draw enough power to even
not
charge.
drawing enough power. Yeah.
Yeah.
The logic is weird. So,
Is it a newer iPad?
oh no, it's not the latest generation regular iPad. It's one behind.
Okay, but it's new, and I
So
mean,
it's
it's
still pretty.
new.
Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
recent. It's probably less than 2 years old.
Yeah.
I'm I'm so pleased that they keep coming out with this particular one, the 10.5 inch one, and keep the price down. It's when you buy the previous model, you can get it on sale for 249.
That's a pretty good deal.
Yeah, it's once in a while you'll see it. I got one at Costco one time, and I bought another one online. I've gotten them for family members, and it's I don't need the business class machine.
I've
It doesn't have
never I've
facial
never really
recognition.
had a use case for a tablet. I've had tablets. I currently have an Amazon. I bought it years ago, and Amazon I bought it as a actually, we talked about this on the show. I was looking for a cheap e-reader. And it made the most sense to buy the Amazon tablet with the ads, and then flash the flash the OS and install a
Yeah,
custom, because the thing was like, I'd say it was like $35 or $45 or something. It was some stupidly cheap amount of money compared to a $90 Kindle or something like that. Um,
I still have that $29 one in a drawer. Because it's side loading of a bunch of stuff, and it just got so slow. I didn't use it anymore.
yeah,
It's like a second generation Amazon Fire tablet.
yeah,
It's the time. It was amazing.
mine's been sitting dead in my bedside table for at least the last 2 years.
That's the same place I
Um,
had mine.
It was a great idea. Did not come to, but I've never had the use case for a tablet. I do a lot on my phone, but most of the stuff that I do, w- I don't. I don't really receive any benefit from I don't receive any benefit of a larger screen. If I need to do work, I need to be at a desktop to do it with multiple monitors and things anyway. Um, always like the idea of a tablet, just never had the reason to use it. You travel a lot, so I guess so for you, Spence, I guess that probably
Oh
helps. You're
yeah,
watching a lot of
it's
media and stuff. I'm never doing
yep.
that.
It's nice because I take my phone with me obviously when I travel, but I bring the iPad when I travel. And if I'm on a cruise ship and they have Wi-Fi, I can do almost anything.
Yeah.
Now that they have the StarLink speeds, it's amazing. It's expensive, but it's worth it if you're away for 2 weeks and you go to port. You know, I would never attach to Wi-Fi in a port because I don't trust it. And my phone, it costs, you got to pay AT&T like $10 a day for every day you use your phone in a international port.
So
That's what's
it's
going to be great about Starlink rolling out with these cell phone providers is that should be significantly cheaper once they're able to do that
Do
successfully.
you do you have any idea? Sometimes my phone will the service will shut off the cellular service, and I see a satellite image,
Oh, really?
I know it's not connected to anything, but it shows a little satellite icon, and it says SOS next to it.
Yeah. It is using satellite, but it's not for data. It's for I think it's just for
Just an
it's
emergency
just
thing.
literally I think you can only dial 911 and
So, but that's
it will
good. I
do
mean,
that.
up
Yeah.
here, you could be out in the middle of nowhere and need to call for help. So,
Yeah, I believe that is the only when your phone's on SOS, whether and it's sometimes I guess up there it's satellite, but even here in the States, like excuse me, here in the lower 48, I should say. Um
yeah,
when you go SOS, you are sometimes roaming on another carrier's tower. I think there's an agreement, but it's no you don't get charged for it obviously, and
yeah.
there's no data, but you can make a 911 call. Essentially, I think you're roaming on a Verizon, or I guess it would be a T-Mobile tower because Verizon's a
Or
different frequency.
T-Mobile up here, a bunch of people who came up to work had T-Mobile phones, and the coverage is awful. They just
That's surprising.
yeah. I mean, I was surprised too because it's on the map is showing its coverage here, but the people who had it said it was unusable, and that's why they were upset when the hotel. So Nick, I'm in a hotel that was owned by the company that I work for up here, and they sold it to a third party, which they're doing with a lot of their properties. And they didn't have anybody who could go in and reconfigure the Wi-Fi in the hotel. So for about a week, there was no Wi-Fi, and then
Really?
they turned on the lobby, and now they've added one of the other towers in the hotel. But yeah, we were without it. So there were people like, what do I do? They had to take courses, online courses, and so there's Wi-Fi over at uh, the place we work out of is employee Wi-Fi, but you got to get there, and there isn't always a shuttle to take you over there.
Sure.
I figured it out. It's working now, but well,
well, let's get into some stories here. I mean,
All right.
this is
So
downloading the packs now, and
no,
it's
that's why I wish you would have asked me before you did that because that's not what you want to do at all.
oh shoot.
That's the point of me saying it's really complicated the first time you use it was to no, you want to download the indexes only. Downloading the packs is like 300 gigabytes. You definitely don't
Yeah,
want
it's
to do that.
140. No,
Yeah,
it's
you don't.
43 gig.
Yeah, you don't want that. But
43
no,
gig.
yeah,
Yeah.
Wow. So
yeah. Download.
can you
Uh,
What you're
can
supposed
you
to do
save this
is
to an external device and have it there?
you can.
I'm just
Yeah,
gonna.
now you close out, but now when you reload it, it's not going to ask you that again. So,
Uh-oh. So
but
uninstall it and reinstall it.
I'm not sure.
Let's do
I'm
it.
not sure.
It's fine. Let me do
So
it.
yeah,
It's
you
no.
download the indexes only. So it's just an indexer of what drivers are available. It'll scan the computer and then because you have the index, then it goes out to the internet and downloads the actual drivers themselves.
Okay.
It should be fine. Just let it go. I mean, it'll just take a long time.
No, there's no need to. I mean, I already broke it.
Well, I don't know. I don't think you broke it. It's just
I mean, I closed it.
Oh, well, now I don't know what it's going to do if you reopen it.
Do you want to know what it's going to do?
Yeah, sure. I would be curious.
I don't know that it's even going to allow me to do that. Let's go to the downloads. The way it installed it, it didn't really.
It doesn't install.
Yeah.
It just runs out of an executable.
Yep.
It's essentially a portable application, which is great, obviously, for having to run it. You can just keep it on a USB key and essentially load it on any device.
Was it created by Steve Gibson?
And it is not a Steve Gibson song.
No,
it's a guy
I'm
named
kidding.
it's a guy named
Haven't heard
Glenn.
from him in a while.
A guy named
Steve
Glenn
Gibson,
makes
the wizard of machine language.
Okay.
Yeah,
Used
writes
to write
all the
programs in
software.
machine language. Yeah,
Okay,
so it
so
would be
download indexes only.
Yes, download indexes only.
Okay. Checking files.
John says federal law requires all phones to be able to dial 911 regardless of service. Yeah. So to Spence's point, when there's nothing else available, it's using some sort of, I don't know who the provider is for satellite. Who do you have, Spence? AT&T or Verizon?
AT&T.
Yeah. I don't know who their coverage carrier is.
What Apple phones are going to be compatible, or what do you need to be compatible with StarLink?
I think it's T-Mobile.
With their phones, is it just a feature you can put on a phone, or is it actually a hardware that has to be in the phone?
I believe so it's a partnership between Apple, SpaceX, and T-Mobile. So that's
okay.
So it's an agreement between those three. So yeah, it's not an AT&T thing. It is a
It's probably specific phones that they've enabled.
Yeah, so it's the Galaxy S24 Ultra, Galaxy Z Flip 6, iPhone 16, or Google Pixel 9. Those are the 4 devices that allow. Now, this is different than what John's talking about. This allows you to receive text messages and send texts and all of that stuff even without coverage. This is the equivalent of having a true satellite phone in certain areas. But I can't imagine that AT&T and Verizon won't be far behind with something like that.
They shouldn't be. Anyway,
what they're going to come out with is a hat that's got a Starlink antenna on the top.
There's an old SNL clip.
Oh,
let me see if I can find it. There's an old SNL clip of a guy reporting from like somewhere in the Middle East, and he's wearing a helmet, and it's got an NBC satellite. Like that's obviously it's obviously not real, but it's a let me see if I can find it.
Just a joke.
Yeah.
We used to have.
Oh yeah, it's Al Franken doing it.
Al Franken. Oh yeah.
Yeah,
we used to have every year we'd have a New Year's Eve party, and it would be a costume party. It would be some theme, and it was a movie theme. And I dressed up as Inspector Gadget, and I had a bike helmet, and I put on top of it M9. You remember the fake security camera that would just sweep back and forth?
Yeah.
Put that on the top of the hat, and I had an antenna, a fake satellite antenna on there too. It's fun. You don't do that anymore. COVID kind of killed all that stuff for us.
So here's the Al Franken with obviously just like the upside, obviously just like the top of a metal trash can with the stupid a little dowel sticking out of the middle of it, doing his live
Oh
via
boy,
satellite report.
that's great. Mm.
I don't think, Nick, I don't think the program is doing anything.
Well, the indexes would have done them quick, would
Well,
have
yeah, I know,
installed
but right
quickly.
now it's saying checking files, 0 bytes of 20 megabytes, and it just
That's
sits there.
Well, let it check. Let it run.
All right. Okay. So Apple plans to shift the assembly of all US sold iPhones to India as soon as next year, according to Financial Times, which cites people familiar with the matter, as President Donald Trump's trade war forces the tech giant to pivot away from China. It already accomplished something. The push
If they don't
builds.
have it, if they don't go to war with Pakistan, everything will be great.
Ah,
There's a conflict going on over there now, and they're saber rattling each other.
so their iPhone sold for me the entirety of the more than 60 million iPhones sold annually in the US. They're going to be finished by the end of 2026.
Supposedly, they brought in tens of millions of phones. They rushed them to get them into the United States before the tariff started.
Everybody
They,
did.
they put they put pressure on people. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Um, there's a lot of stuff about AI this week, and all kind of weird things. Let's see. Where were A draft executive order from the Trump administration proposes integrating AI into K through 12 education by directing federal agencies to promote AI literacy, train teachers, and establish public private partnerships. The draft is marked pre-decisional and could be subject to change before it is signed, or it could be abandoned. It's a good idea. Teach the kids.
Might as well.
Uh, uh,
This is what life is going to be.
that's
I mean, this is
absolutely. Yep.
there's a lot of bitching and moaning and complaining about AI, and the reality is very simple. If you are of working age and not close to retirement, you are going to have to learn how to leverage AI in your work. And if you don't, other people who are going to be promoted and get jobs over you. I mean, that's
Absolutely.
just the
Yep.
same way that if you were 25 years old in the 80s and said, I'm never going to learn how to use a computer, to hell with this, your career progression was going to be relatively limited. I mean, it is literally no different than that.
I was
I
re-
don't know why the outrage over AI. I mean, maybe you guys were living in that era. Was there a lot of outrage in the 80s, mid early 80s, over computers being installed in the workplace? Was it seen as a
no,
devastating blow to work?
it was really a productivity thing that really did help because you
Well,
you
it did
still
help, but
had
did
to.
people think, but was the perception that it wasn't, that it was going to take all these jobs? Because I mean, that's what it is.
No,
That's what people say with AI.
no, because
Huh.
all those jobs were so new that you had to you think about having an office and automating record keeping and things like that. That was such a huge thing to have online access to records and security to secure those records because you had people they would have these gigantic like remember the company Iron Mountain, the people that have they have the uh they go into the side they literally have a mountain that they use at caves to go in and store documents, and that's what you had to do to be compliant, to have those records. Like if the records have to go back 10 years, it was paper. So, I think at the time it was just looked at as amazing. I think you started to have people that spent too much time on it, like playing games, but that wasn't like me overnight with my PC Junior playing Gato Submarine, into 2 o'clock in the morning. But no, I think, but there was also that was the advent of the whole idea behind Terminator with Skynet and all that came out of our generation with and that what was the Colossus the Forbin project and these other movies about
Great
computers
movie.
taking over. Oh, what a great movie. Yes, that was a great movie. I need to watch that again.
So do I. But so the question is, why is AI so different? Because like you talk about productivity and the ability to use it. I don't know why AI is getting. I mean, there's legitimate concerns about stealing content that is not AI learning off of content that it does not have a license to learn off of, and from Katie's talked about it a lot from the art standpoint. There are definitely some questions and some concerns. No argument there. I don't know why the AI argument is unfolding the way that it is right
I
now.
think I think that a lot of it has to do with the idea of laziness. And I'm being honest about this. That you feel like, oh, what used to be we used to take you a lot of effort to do happens so quickly now that will you be able to do it if AI is not there? Kind of. I mean, I use it. I love it. I mean, graphic stuff is amazing. Or I guess I want to ask a question. Uh, you know, tell me about this subject. Or now it's used for travel now, for arranging your travel. You say, I'd like to plan a trip to spend um, 1 day in each of these cities. Tell me the highlights and what my itinerary should be. And boom, it comes out. So it's a great time saver and money saver. But I think the other fear is that if you're using it, are you aware of the sources of the information?
Sure.
Is it accurate? That's one fear I have is, oh, I'm going to go find out about this medicine and tell me about this medicine or this treatment or something like that. Is it pulling it from accurate sources? And is it actually compiling and comparing to say, what are the pros and cons of this? And I just hope that it's still garbage in, garbage out, because we have to program the act. You know what I'm saying? You
Yeah,
still
yeah.
have to be aware of, yeah. So
But
I
see, I
guess
would
that's the fear.
you made the argument about laziness, and things happen a lot quicker. But I mean, you could make you prop and you could have, and many people probably did. I mean, back before the advent of computers, you had a group of predominantly women that were typists. That when you had a
Yes.
big meeting, you had 15 women typing up the same memo
Yep.
15
Steno
times.
pool.
100% to now, and then you install a computer into the workplace. You type it up on a single word processor and you print 15 copies, or before that, the Xerox machine that got added to your office. So you printed one copy and Xeroxed it. That's what I'm struggling to wrap my head around. And I will admit, obviously, I didn't live during any of those times, so it's hard for me to um it's hard to say what it was like. But that was, you know, 40 years ago. Well, maybe 50 years ago in the workplace. That's what you had. I mean, you literally had a steno pool to write memos. People just clicking away at typewriters all day to write stuff and to type things out. Um, it's just
I think
bizarre.
our our generation, I've been lucky because I've kept pace with technology
Exactly.
as it grew, and I am aware of it. I'm aware of the danger, but I'm also aware of the benefits. And I know people my age that are like, I'm not using that. And it's more of maybe it's a little bit of fear of the unknown, or just being embarrassed that you don't know how to use it or something like that. No, seriously. I mean, I think that I think it's going to work itself out, just like before when all those coal miners, you should go code. That that whole idea. People don't like to hear about jobs going away, but the reality is you have to adjust. It's just that they're not going to keep that job if AI can do it.
Yeah, I mean, I am currently trying to be as adapt with AI as possible because I think it's something that can set me in the business field, something that can set me apart from other people.
Oh
Mhm.
yeah. I'm
Absolutely.
I'm I'm interested to see like places that I work with, my insurance broker, my financial planner. I don't know that they're using it yet or how they might use it, but I'm interested. I should ask them sometime to say, so how is AI affecting your job and helping you? You
And if they
with
say no,
me,
I mean, that's I think saying no is a problem.
I think that if they work for a big organization, it's probably there and they don't realize it.
That's true.
There's things happening in the background when you can do a search. Now, what I'm doing right now, yeah, we have some really cool technology. Um, it's called electronic logging. When you go now as a commercial driver, you you are mandated if you're a certain size company to use electronic logging, which is a tablet in the device in the vehicle that automatically records all your driving,
Mhm.
and it collects information. It has GPS, it has accelerometers, it's got cameras. I mean, it's dramatically changed. And I saw they have a room in the office that we work out of where they've got a bunch of monitors and they have access to all of the filming, all the video that's being captured. When you sit down in the driver's seat, it's watching you. It's looking forward and back. And if you have an abrupt stop, it registers and it pops up and they get a warning. So they go and look to the video to see what happened. It will detect you going through a red light. It will detect you speeding. If you make a turn too fast, all that stuff is collected. And I believe they're using AI to organize it, and then a pop-up will come to say, here are the flags we captured today from people driving. You need to go look at each of these video clips to see what really happened. So it's there. So the old idea of just you drive a truck and you fill out your paper logbook and that's it, it's over.
And that used to be very controversial over
Yeah.
how many hours were you actually drive because it's mandated as to what how many hours you can drive over a certain period of time.
Yep.
Um, that was a big thing. Oh, let me get pulled over by a state trooper and ask for your logbook.
Yep.
There's no way to really determine whether it's accurate or not. So you write in
And
whatever
there
the hell you want.
used to be a saying. It says that you kept two logbooks, the one to show them and the one, the real one.
Yeah. I mean, that's gone.
Yeah. You can't fake it anymore. So I personally love it. I mean, because when we drive, the logbook is like a 24-hour grid where you draw lines on it in 15-minute increments. If you're driving, if you're on duty, or if you're off duty, and it looks like this little graph thing and every time you stop, if you stop more than 7.5 minutes, you have to log it. And then you have to flag it. You have to put a line down to say, here I am in Sutton, Alaska. And then if you stay there, you have to, what they call boxing it to show that here's this block of time I was at this location. Now it's all captured. You don't have to do it anymore,
That sounds like a
which is
huge
one.
help from your vantage point. A huge
Oh,
amount
yeah,
of just wasted time that you don't have to deal with anymore.
that's right. And I can log into my phone and look at my hours and go on and off duty. I can take the tablet from the coach and I can look at all the repairs that have been done, or every day a commercial vehicle gets a pre-trip and a post-trip. You look at it, go through a procedure to make sure everything's safe. You say safe to drive. You get to the end of the day, you do an end of the day inspection. You say safe to drive, and then everybody that's put one of those in, you can look and say, oh, a problem was reported and it was resolved, and here's the narrative about what happened. So
That's a
it's
good
wonderful,
thing.
and
Yeah.
I'm sure they're using AI to do this. So,
All
but
right.
it's not evident.
Which
Windows.
hold on a
Oh,
second,
go
Aaron.
ahead.
I wasn't going to say anything until Spence's last point, and it wasn't evident. That's the key. I mean, that's really where I think you're going to see, and part of it is trying to uh uh shuffle your way through the bullshit, because everything is now being determined as AI when, let if we're being honest, none of it actually is, or very little of it actually is true AI. Um, but things that can just happen and you don't know that it's AI, but it is and it works well, that's it. I mean, that's the key right there.
Yeah, it could be calling a structured query language uh, request as AI when it really isn't.
Yes, yeah, it's SQL requests have existed for what, 40 years? I mean, it's not
Yeah,
it's not anything new.
I use that, but and you had to learn how to string together your search. It took a long time to get used to it, but once you learned it, but now you don't have to do that anymore.
Yeah, it's
You know,
great.
yeah. What's the torque spec for this particular wheel lug on this bus? And all you do is turn it, and this is two tightenings. It's this to this torque spec and all, and you can find it. If I want to operate on myself, and
Mhm.
I can find directions on how to operate on myself.
All right. So Microsoft latest cyber signals report shows how cyber criminals are using AI to make scams more believable and harder to spot. The company says that between April 24 and April 25, it stopped $4 billion worth of fraud attempts, blocked about 1.6 million fake bot signups every hour, and rejected 49,000 fake partnership requests. This shows how common online fraud has become, especially as scammers use AI to trick people more easily. It's always going to be a cat and mouse game. They're going to
Sure.
figure something, and the system is going to have to figure out how to stop them. But the best thing is just be aware of what you're doing on your PC. That's all. Really, that will solve your problem. Be aware what you click on, what you're downloading, things like that.
What I find is a really good sign is that if you have a suspicious activity going on,
Yep.
and it's a company or something, you can go to their website
Yeah.
or just do a search online to say, does AT&T contact you this way? And you'll find right out they're putting it out there now. Here is how we would contact you. This is the only URL you will ever
Yep.
see. And we don't call you, we don't text you. So it's really good that people are aware of it. And my 87-year-old aunt in Florida is getting really good at this.
Good.
She figured out something the other day. She called me because she got a message from Apple saying that we noticed that this device loaded software, and this device is not on your list of your devices. Did you do this? And at first she called me. She says, I don't know what this is. What does this mean? Turns out her son had to install an app. They have a video doorbell, and had to reinstall the app and had to use her ID to do it. And it posted a message. She thought it was, and I
Nice.
first looked at it and said, I don't know. And then my cousin figured it out. He realized that he had installed this, and they did a great job of warning her with this message, and it was legit. Went to Apple and said, "This is how we contact you. This is the URL. You'll always see this. It's a secure message. Just don't trust anything else." So it's there if you look.
Yeah. Um, Again, but Microsoft has stated that some users are still being offered upgrades to Windows 11, even when Intune settings are in place to prevent these updates. Not all organizations or users are affected, but those impacted have reported that even devices 100% excluded by the policy were offered the upgrade.
Never.
Reports from
Can't
organizations.
can't
What?
stop it. I said you can't stop it. This was the bane of working in IT for the last couple of years. No matter what you set, policies you set, GPO, registry edits, these computers will still upgrade in many cases automatically. There's nothing you can do about it. And Microsoft doesn't even know how to fix it.
Yeah, they were saying that they're saying the thousands of devices are affected, with users receiving the upgrades prompt despite being excluded. Microsoft says that users who have already upgraded to Windows 11 due to this issue, and they're talking about an issue here, must be manually rolled back to their previous Windows version.
Sure.
That's
It
bad.
happens
That
constantly.
that's
And
almost what you would want to do is when you leave the office, disconnect the internet.
shut the computer off and disconnect the internet.
Yeah.
But I mean, here's the but let's give a little bit of credit to Microsoft here. This is all of this is happening because of the fault of many users of Windows that for whatever reason will say permanently, no, disable updates for 3 months and disable updates for 3 months
I
and
didn't think
disable
you can
updates
do
for
that
3 months.
anymore.
Well, you can't anymore, but now you can. You can't click the button to do it anymore, but now you can do it through uh,
Policies.
GPIO policies.
Yeah.
I'm sure there's little open source software you can download off of GitHub that will make the changes automatically for you. This is because users that run Windows for whatever reason don't want to update, and it continually puts Microsoft in an unwinnable position between security and software management.
Yeah, I wish the way that they do it, at least maybe they can stop offering it to me and bring up that splash screen. I cannot upgrade to Windows 11 on these machines. Why are you telling me that it's available and I should do it?
Because has to run the check.
Huh?
It doesn't know that. I mean, it just sees a copy of Windows 10. It doesn't know whether your computer has a TPM chip or whatever prerequisites are necessary.
It seems like they could. I mean, well, yeah, seems like it could be that when if somebody runs that, what is that, health?
Oh, system health.
Yeah, and it says that it cannot be updated, that it should leave something
I could do
somewhere,
that.
and then they can look
Yeah,
at that.
you're right. I just
But
I don't while Microsoft has not done this correctly, a lot of this is Windows users' faults forcing Microsoft to be hyper aggressive over updates.
yeah,
It
well,
is. I mean, when you have people that refuse to upgrade their systems and refuse to install new updates, what does Microsoft do from a security standpoint? Now your operating system is out in the wild, getting compromised. People are bitching and complaining that oh, I'm hacked, I'm this, I'm that. What is Microsoft to do? It's
there's
bad
not
PR
much.
for
Right,
them,
there's not
and
much they
it's
can
not.
do.
No. So what? So they jam the updates down your throat until you eventually update. It's a lose lose for everybody involved.
Well,
If they leave the user alone, they don't update. If they don't update, they're vulnerable to, and it's not just, oh, bad PR for Microsoft. These people are vulnerable to, depending on what you do on your computer, having your bank account compromised. I mean, life destroying and life devastating actions that can take place. And so it's just a lose lose for everybody.
yeah, yeah. Are you
I
guys
have a,
using? Go ahead.
oh, no, it's okay.
Are you guys using Wikipedia?
Not as much as I used
Occasionally.
to. Yeah, not as much as I
Yeah.
used to.
Well,
A
Yeah,
lot
I
of
don't
stuff's coming
trust it
from Chat
anymore.
GPT.
says
It's compromised.
the acting U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia sent a letter to the nonprofit that runs Wikipedia, accusing the tax exempt organization of allowing foreign actors to manipulate information and spread propaganda to the American public.
Sure.
It's happening.
And they are threatening that they will take the tax exempt status away from them.
Good.
Yeah. It's not new. I mean, it's been going on for a long time.
And
Yeah.
they've been supposedly it's open for anybody to edit, and they've cut back on that now, and they're basically curating everything.
Yeah.
Yes. That's not good. I was going to say, I have an interesting local story that's got to do with Alaska, which is pretty cool. And I first heard about this idea of having standalone natural gas Bitcoin mining data centers. And it's happening up here now. It's
What do
got
you
a
mean?
company that
Oh,
says,
so they run their own
yeah, so what
generators.
they do is they build, it's like a comics container, or they
Yeah.
build it around a portable. So the first time I heard of this was reading a novel about Wyoming, and how they took these random scattered natural gas wells, and they'd helicopter in a standalone data center, take the natural gas feed, satellite connection, and all they would do is Bitcoin or digital currency mining
Yeah,
there.
but you mean they're running a generator locally.
Yes. Okay. Well, it's, yeah, natural gas generator
Yeah.
powering the data center. And there's a place called Hillcorp on the North Slope. This is up in the oil fields in northern Alaska, that is now going to use natural gas fired power to mine digital currency. Having this, and you can look it up, the companies build these self-contained, ready to go. You tell them the specs you want on the computing power, completely self-contained, air conditioned, hardened for everything. Natural gas feed, satellite link, and they just drop them out in the wilderness, and
Hmm.
they just run. That
You know,
this
this is not very different. This was still is a pretty common thing in Alaska. Many of them have shut down. Many radio stations had their transmitters in places where there was no power, and they were 100% run on gas. Gas generators would just chug away 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to
Yep.
provide radio. Many of them were AM stations. They're all shut down now because you can't afford to run an AM station with the power consumption on a generator. It's well too expensive. Um,
the There's something in the works now, which they've been talking about for many years, is that the oil pipeline still brings oil down from Prudhoe Bay, but there's millions and millions and millions of cubic feet of natural gas up there that's either capped or just burned off.
mm,
That's not being used. So they're finally going to get a pipeline, because the Trump administration has greenlit it and gotten rid of all the crap. And they're going to use the same path as the oil pipeline. And they're going to start transporting liquid natural gas down by truck, because there's so much of it up there. It's just wasted.
Hmm.
Yeah, that will dramatically. People here, the cost of living will drop dramatically, because here they heat their houses with home heating oil, because that's the only thing that's really available besides wood.
and you're running that home heating oil and heating your house a vast majority of the year because of the temperature. So
Absolutely,
it's
Yeah.
because it's
constant.
so cold. Yeah,
Yeah,
some people were telling me they're paying, their electric bill is like $400 or $500 a month during the winter, plus their home heating oil bills. It could be $1,000 a month.
sure.
So, or I
Sounds like
pay,
Amnon's power bill.
That's like here.
yeah, I have natural gas. I have natural gas in my house, and I don't power electric, but I have a dryer, a stove, a water heater, and what's one other appliance. And my level billing for the entire year is $88 a month
Jeez.
for all
I
of
wish.
those things, drying, cooking. Yeah,
Yeah,
it would
I
be
wish not.
nice.
I miss not having natural gas here.
Yeah,
I wish we had it. Yeah.
I mean, you can go and get those big propane tanks. That's for in some places that's more affordable.
it
You
is.
get
Yeah, cost effective in some
the
ways.
big LNG tanks. But those are kind of a pain in the ass to deal with.
Yep.
I've got a couple of
Oh,
products I'd like to show off if I could.
you go
Oh yeah,
ahead. What do you mean?
So I bought my first product ever from AliExpress this week. Well, I bought it a couple weeks ago and it finally showed up from China. I bought a what is called an R36S, and it is a Game Boy knockoff device with a turn it on. It is this is obviously this is very illegal. Um, it is a full emulation device that I bought off AliExpress. It's got 15,000 games on it from consoles of all generations. Um, and it was this. I'm really blown away with how nice the screen is on it. I'm sure it's not coming over super well on video, but it is a beautiful LCD screen on this device, and it was a whopping $40 shipped from China to my house. It's well built enough for $40. Um, and it has got 15,644 games on it
How many did
from
you play so far?
just one. I really only wanted to play just a couple of games.
Yeah.
But it's a nice, well-built device. So I got that, ordered it from AliExpress, pretty neat. And then I got this thing. This is Spence, you might like this. You're a traveler. Um, some depending on where you're staying, like hotels or whatever, sometimes there's no fan available, or the fan on the air conditioning unit is not very good. I like to sleep with a fan. So I purchased this thing, which is essentially just a computer fan built into an enclosure that's got a battery built into it. And it's a little portable fan that you can set up. It's got a kickstand on it. Little kickstand on it, and it's got a USB and a micro USB port, and it goes from zero from that's 1%, which is it's blowing a let's see, get a piece of paper or
Where did you
something
find that?
on Amazon. So I mean, this is 1%.
Wow.
You can see it blowing, and this is 100%. Um,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's a neat little device. I bought it on Amazon for like $16. Um, and the nice thing about it's got a battery built into it. I don't think it'll run an entire night off the battery, probably not. Um,
But you can keep it
uh,
plugged in
but you can
anywhere.
keep it plugged in. And my mother just texted me, who's watching the show, and said that she has two of those fans and they work great. I haven't used mine yet. So I'll throw the link to both of those in the chat. But
Hmm.
I'm very impressed with the Game Boy out of China for
I'm,
$40.
I'm looking at it on AliExpress.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a specific one. If you're gonna buy it, I'll put the link in the chat. There's a lot of there's knockoffs of this, which is crazy because this is obviously already a illegal device with illegal ROMs. But there's knockoffs of this that are no good. So there's like a specific one. It's $40, and and actually this fan that I bought is on sale now. Of course, it's cheaper than when I bought it. Of course, just to spite
This is
you.
incredible.
Tariffs and all.
Yeah. So there's the fan, which is on sale for $13 right now. Um, and then I'll put the AliExpress link uh into the chat as well.
Amazing.
Oh,
I got a,
the price on this device went way up, so maybe wait to buy it. It's now $70. I spent 40 on it. So
I got a keychain version of it.
yeah,
Like a
there's a whole
tiny
bunch of
little
stuff.
keychain with it.
AliExpress is a great website. I've been on AliExpress for years. I've never purchased anything because it never made sense to. Um, but I ordered it on April 16th and it arrived last Thursday, so the 24th. So 8 days, literally from China. It was pretty impressive on that. It was 20. Oh, excuse me. It wasn't even, it was $30. I spent $28.88 shipped to my house.
Hmm.
So
Nice.
I'm gonna
those are
go.
my two
I like.
products. I still don't have a working computer, but I now have a fan and a Game Boy knockoff. So
No, the fan idea is very good because Pam likes to have a sometimes family stuff when we're traveling have a fan on, and on a cruise ship they don't have fans.
That's what my mother
And
said she
this,
bought hers for, was for the cruise ship.
yeah, this is a really good idea.
Yeah. Cheap
Is it in
enough.
chat now?
Yeah, yeah, it's the Amazon link.
Okay.
It's $13. Haven't haven't used it yet. But I did try. I do like it's got the two charging ports on it, USB-C and micro USB, which is really nice. Um, and even the 1%, the lowest setting it goes, seems to work pretty well, and it is cruise approved. I don't know if that's a real thing or not. Um, I don't know.
Cruise approved.
Is there? I don't know. Is there certain things you aren't allowed to bring on a cruise ship? Maybe.
Well, there are certain devices they don't want plugged in.
Yeah. So
Like they'll have you can buy a power brick that's got a couple of extra outlets and USB charging on it. That's cruise ship approved. They don't want surge protectors
yeah.
on anything.
So I guess this
Because
is yeah. So I guess this is a cruise approved product. Um, yeah, it's cool. It's literally just a PC fan in a enclosure with a small little lithium ion battery. Um, so of course, now that I bought it, I'll never need to use it for anything, which is how most things I
Oh, you'll
purchase
figure
work.
out.
oh, you
You'll
will.
figure out something.
But yeah. So yeah, pretty neat.
Nice, nice. All right, thanks, Nick. Um, Intel has some bad news. They're planning to cut more than 20% of the workforce this week.
Yeah. Well,
So,
their stock got crushed,
yeah.
and they're sort of repositioning themselves now because of the tariffs, trying to figure out what they can do by changing manufacturing, getting away from China.
And uh, Time Warner Discovery prepares to crack down on password sharing. Its Max streaming service is rolling out a new feature called the Extra Member Add on, similar to Netflix paid sharing model. It'll be $7.99 a month if you want to add somebody to yours. I don't know how much.
Christ Almighty, how much is the base account?
Yeah, that's what I have no idea. They don't mention that. That's what I was saying. I wonder how much is the
Let's
basic
ask
account.
ChatGPT. What is this? Is this Max or
Max.
Max Plus?
It is Mac. No,
How
just
much
Max.
is HBO Max? Um,
I am ChatGPT.
well, unfortunately, I have ChatGPT installed on my computer and like all of the other programs right now. Nothing is loading. Um, so it looks like Max with basic ads is $10 a month. The standard plan is $17. Um, so 17 to then add another user for 8. So it's essentially half of another
Yeah.
subscription. That's a lot. If it was like $4 a month, sure, but $8 a month to add an extra user account is a
Yeah, it
large sum of
says the
money.
friend or family member of the account owner gets their own standalone account under the same subscription.
Okay, well then there you
No,
go.
no, I mean, what's the difference? You.
Well, the separate account means that you get to keep track of what you're watching and things. I mean, there are some benefits of that. If you have multiple people watching things, especially the same show on the same account, that can create problems because you're on different episodes and things of that nature.
Yeah.
So,
Um,
I'm actually
are you
ordering two of these
using
fans and
Spence? Do you have a
fans and
Nest? Oh,
what?
Nest,
No.
Nick?
no, I do not have any
Says
Nest
Google
products.
announced it will end software updates and remote control support for the first and second generation Nest Learning thermostats.
Makes sense. Those are old. I mean, you can't. These devices are not going to be. But these devices are not going to be supported forever.
All right.
I'll give Honeywell credit. I've got probably a 15-year-old Honeywell thermostat in my house that it came with. The house came with it, and it still is supported. Their software is called TCC, Total Comfort Control, and it still works. I would not be upset if I got a notice from Honeywell tomorrow that it wasn't going to be supported anymore. I mean, you know, how long does a company have an obligation to support that stuff? And
Forever.
yeah, I mean, it's just not it's just not practical. I mean, from a
No.
consumer standpoint, you want the stuff to be supported forever, but from a business standpoint, how often, I mean, you purchase a thermostat for 70 bucks 15 years ago. How long do you get free
Oh, I
remote
understand.
control of it? I mean, it's
I'm
tough.
wondering
It's a
about
trade-off.
This
all the wise stuff that I purchased. How long is that going to stay supported?
Wise is a good company. I would suspect they'll continue to support that stuff almost
Yeah.
indefinitely. Google doesn't care about Nest. I don't know why the hell they acquired it. I guess to
Is it
bridge it into Google Home, but that was a bad acquisition from a
I mean,
consumer
they
standpoint.
Wise is actually being rebranded as, what company is it? You see it at Walmart now. It's all Wise products, but it's rebranded under another name that we would know. I can't remember what it is though. It's all Wise products, cameras and stuff.
Hmm.
So
it
they finally breaking out and doing OEM stuff.
it says you will no
Um,
longer be able to control them remotely from your phone or with Google Assistant, but you can still adjust the temperature and modify schedules directly on the thermostat.
it's
Yeah.
just a
Well,
programmable. Yeah.
So the
this will be an opportunity for maybe for Home Assistant. I don't know what the protocol is to connect a Nest device to Home Assistant, but that would
somebody
give you
will
the
figure it
opportunity.
out. Yeah.
Well, yeah, possibly. You probably have to run some sort of local proxy server. I mean, that's a solution for this as well. I mean, it's not a great solution. Um, but that is a alternative to this, just running a proxy server,
Yeah.
faking, forcing the device to think it's connecting to a Google server when it's really just connecting to a server in your house.
All right. Well, it's that time of day. Spence, what time is it now?
It's 6:10.
Depends on my schedule.
Yeah. I woke up this morning at 3 something. Couldn't sleep because we're moving out of this hotel to employee housing, and they're not providing transportation. So I had arranged originally to get a beat up car from a local mechanic that I know who rents cars. Had it set up, and then they called me to say, sorry, the engine blew up. And so I couldn't rent that anymore. So I actually went online this morning to look for cheap car rentals. And I found a local place that I could rent a car for $16 a day,
Nice.
which I just need it for 3 weeks. And I'll be going home, and it's a car I pick up at the airport. It's a regular agency, and I can get all the insurance I need through my personal car insurance and my credit card. So I don't need to buy all the add-ons. So it's literally $16 a day.
What service did you
So,
use?
oh, it turned out to be Priceline, but the
Okay.
original search engine, not sure what that was. That pushed me to Priceline.
There's I don't know if anybody's used this. There's a company called Turo, Turo. I don't know if you've heard of this.
Yes, yeah, I have.
It's a private car rental. So if you have an extra car that you don't drive, you put it on Turo and you can rent it to people. It's
I
way
looked at
cheaper.
that. I
It's probably
looked at
screwed
that.
up in Alaska because of the whole
Uh,
economy is different.
It is screwed up. It's very expensive, but some of the cars they put up for rental were like, you got to be kidding me. I wouldn't even step in this thing. Some
Yeah.
of them were luxury cars. Yeah. I found the terms and conditions were not real good. Or each person would kind of set their expectation for cleaning and all that other stuff when the car comes back. So you had to watch and see. Some
Yeah.
people that
It's
this is their business, is what they do is rent cars that they
absolutely.
want.
Yeah. And I mean, depending on where you are and what market you're in, it can be relatively affordable.
Lucrative.
I'm looking at the Wilmington right now. You can rent. I'm looking at a Jeep Wrangler for 4 days, $203 total. I mean, that's way cheaper than going to the airport and going to Hertz or
Yeah.
Dollar Car Rental or wherever. So if anybody's looking, Turo, Turo, it's a pretty interesting service.
Good.
Back to you, Amnon.
Anything else? Anybody else? Anything else to add? No?
No, sir.
Okay. So let's end the show. Thanks. Thanks, Spence, for waking up so early. Well,
Oh, no problem. It worked out perfect.
yeah. Thanks, Nick.
Thank you.
And I hope that God is enjoying his time and Katie is traveling.
Nice.
And good morning, Kathy, Hannah, Nabil, Mac, Norm, Katie and Donna, Dina, Mati, Eleanor, Sarid, Yaakov, and Yael. Thanks, everybody, for tuning to Computers 2K Now. We hope you enjoyed and maybe learned something from our time together. Remember to practice safe computing. Back up your hard drive and update your virus scanner. And remember to change any same password where you use them. We'll be back here next Sunday at 9, but you can always reach us at computers2know.com. Again, Monday through Friday, 5 to 6 a.m., Nick hosts the Carolina Journal News Hour on WBT in Charlotte. That's 11:10 a.m., 99.3 FM, and on YouTube. Just go to nickcraig.com to get some information, or you go to the Carolina Journal News Hour to get information where you can listen to it and download. Also, Nick does his own show, the Nick Craig Show, weekdays from 7 till 8. Just go to nickcraig.com to get the information. And Nick and Brian host the Infection Podcast on Twitch once a week. Just go to infectionpodcast.com and get the day when it's going to be live, or get information how to download recorded shows and listen to them on your own. Have a great week. Stay safe, and we'll be back together next week.
You are tuned to the Nissan Communications Network. If you tuned in too late, you can always watch each program in its entirety or download an MP3 audio file of it in the archives section at nissancommunications.com. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel, follow us on Twitter, and like us on Facebook. Sponsored by StreamingGear.com and DeltaForce.net.